The freezing wind swept across the endless prehistoric plains as a small tribe of hunters marched carefully through the snow. Their stomachs were empty, and their children had not eaten for days. Ahead of them, giant shadows moved slowly through the white fog. A herd of woolly mammoths wandered near the frozen river, searching for grass beneath the ice. Among the herd stood a massive mother mammoth. Her tusks curved like giant moons, and thick brown fur protected her from the deadly cold. Beside her walked a small baby mammoth, playful and curious, staying close to his mother's enormous legs. The hunters crouched behind icy rocks. Their leader raised his hand silently. Wooden spears tipped with sharpened stone glimmered in the pale sunlight. They knew hunting a mammoth could feed the tribe for weeks, but they also knew the danger. A mother mammoth protecting her child was one of the most terrifying creatures alive. The baby mammoth wandered too far from the herd, stepping near the frozen riverbank. One hunter saw the opportunity and whispered urgently to the others. Slowly, the hunters surrounded the young calf. Suddenly, a spear flew through the air. The calf cried loudly in fear. The sound echoed across the frozen valley. In an instant, the mother mammoth raised her giant trunk and released a thunderous roar that shook the ground beneath the hunter's feet. Snow fell from nearby cliffs as the enraged beast charged forward like a living mountain. The hunters panicked. One man barely escaped as the mammoth smashed a tree beside him into splinters. Another hunter threw his spear, but it bounced harmlessly off the mammoth's thick fur and skin. The mother mammoth reached her calf and pushed him behind her powerful body. Her small eyes burned with fury. She stomped the ground so hard that ice cracked beneath her feet. The hunters tried to trap her using fire. Torches lit the snowy darkness as flames spread through dry grass. Smoke filled the air, but the mammoth did not. Millions of years ago, survival ruled the earth. On the icy plains of the ancient world, humans were not kings. They were weak hunters struggling against giant beasts and deadly winters. A starving tribe wandered through the snow, searching for food. Their firewood was nearly gone, and the freezing wind cut through their animal skin clothing. Then they saw them, an enormous herd of woolly mammoths moving slowly near the horizon. The tribe's hunters immediately prepared their weapons. Spears made from stone and wood were all they had against creatures larger than any animal alive today. But among the herd stood one mammoth unlike the others. A giant mother guarded her calf with fierce attention. Every few seconds, she looked around carefully, sensing danger in the frozen silence. The hunters followed the herd for hours through deep snow and icy valleys. Finally, they reached a narrow canyon where the mammoths slowed down. The hunters believed this was their chance. Hidden behind rocks, they waited silently. One hunter launched the first spear. It struck the baby mammoth's side. The calf cried in terror. Everything changed instantly. The mother mammoth exploded with rage. She charged forward with unbelievable speed, smashing through snow and ice. Hunters scattered in panic as the giant beast stormed toward them. One man tried to stand his ground with a flaming torch. The mammoth crushed him beneath her massive feet. Another hunter climbed a rock, but the mammoth slammed her tusks into the stone, knocking him down. The frozen plains became chaos. The mammoth herd joined the attack, trumpeting loudly while snow flew into the air. Hunters ran desperately between icy cliffs as the ground trembled beneath them. The tribe leader screamed for everyone to retreat toward the forest. But the enraged mother mammoth would not stop. She chased the hunters across the plains, protecting her wounded calf at all costs. Dark clouds gathered overhead as a violent snowstorm began. Visible. Long before cities and civilizations existed, humans fought daily for survival. Every hunt could mean life or death. One brutal winter, a prehistoric tribe faced starvation. Children cried from hunger while icy winds howled outside their caves. The tribe's best hunters left before sunrise searching for prey. After hours of walking, they discovered giant mammoth tracks in the snow. Excitement spread quickly. Fresh meat could save the tribe. The hunters followed the tracks across frozen plains until they spotted a herd of woolly mammoths near an icy lake. The leader pointed toward a young calf walking near the edge of the herd. It was vulnerable, or so they thought, hidden behind rocks. The hunters prepared their attack carefully. Spears tightened in trembling hands while freezing wind filled the silent air. Then the first spear flew. The calf screamed. The sound awakened something terrifying. The mother mammoth spun around instantly and charged like an unstoppable force of nature. Snow exploded beneath her giant feet. Hunters shouted in fear. One spear struck her shoulder, but it only made her angrier. She slammed into a hunter with terrifying power, sending him flying across the frozen ground. The herd panicked and began stampeding across the valley. Ice shattered beneath their weight, while thunder echoed through the mountains. The hunters tried using fire to scare the mammoths away. Flames rose high into the darkening sky, but the mother mammoth marched directly through the fire. Burning embers covered her fur as she protected her calf behind her enormous body. The hunters realized they were no longer hunting. They were being hunted. The enraged mammoth chased them through icy forests and snow-covered hills. Hunters abandoned spears and ran for their lives. One man became trapped between rocks. The mother mammoth lifted him with her tusks and threw him into the snow. Another hunter climbed a tree, trembling in fear as the giant creature smashed the trunk apart. As